Hello, Job Doer here, and today's little assembly job here is on another product from IKEA. This time it is a Billy bookcase, like this one here, article number 702.638.42, and this is what they call the black-brown color, so it's going to be hard to see probably filming this whole thing through. And it's, let's see, it's 31.5 inches wide, 11 inches deep, and 41 and 3/4 inches high, also known as 80 centimeters by 28 centimeters by 106 centimeters, right? So it's made in Germany, and basically, I'm just going to kind of get into this. I know I've done a few before of this type of product, but this one is actually the bigger little one. I think the last one I did was like a 15-inch wide or so. Alright, so let's kind of tear this open. And I'm going to use an ancient technique here called the knife hand, hopefully. And just kind of slide it in here. Well, see if I can get it going. Just kind of slide like this. And then you can run your hand right down the side of this here box. More or less. Right. Pop it open there. And what do we got here? We got this right here is going to be the back of it. Just going to set aside for now. We've got some instructions, eh? And so before we did the one on the right, this one here. Now we're doing the one on the left, this one here. Bigger, right? Maybe better. And you know, they got all the warnings here. Pick a language if you like it. And of course, I like the pictures myself because, like, you need those tools there. And don't do that. Don't crack the corner of it. Put on a magic rug. And if you have questions, call the store or watch this video. And be careful that you mount it hard against the wall, otherwise it could fall over and crush, break stuff. You know, all that bad things. Right, there's extra pages here, and it shows you how to assemble stuff. But that's what I'm for. So we'll set that aside. Now, back to the unboxing here. We got cardboard spacer. We got this piece here. Looks like a shelf, but once again has 2 holes on that side, 2 on this one here. And if I rotate it around, right, it has these holes down here. I'll set that aside. That is actually going to be for the bottom. And we got another one here. This one here is black all on top, except for on one edge there and this other edge. And it has this little special hole. That's going to be an adjustable shelf. I'll set that aside. And we got here another of the same, see? Has the same whole thing, adjustable. So aside it will go. And this one here has let's see, 4 holes on the top, has a hole cut down here, but it has a groove back here. See that groove in there? Right there. So that groove, that means this is going to be the top piece. And put it aside. And then we got this right here, the little kick plate in the front, and we should have a couple sides here. Bigger. Yeah, so this one here, you can see that there's a groove. I don't know if you can see it, but it's actually a groove right there. Now you can kind of see it there. And so that groove is groove right here means that this one here is going to be the back right hand side, and so the other part is the back left hand side. So I'm just going to rearrange this on the floor so it's more manageable for me. And I'll continue. If you've seen the one before that, this is going to be pretty close to the same one, a little bit more heftier to do. But also in that box was a sack of goodies, right? All the little its and bitsy pieces that put this thing together and keep it together. So I'm just going to turn to that and put them over here if I can get to them all. Right, so first things I'll do is these little wooden dowel things. These here, you take your little kick foot plate thingy, goes in the front, right, and you put them in like so, into each hole. This here takes 4 of them, and what I like to do is after I get them started a little bit, you know, get a little hammer action. I'll tap, tap, tap. Not ogre hammering, you know, this ain't a battle hammer. Just tap it down until you get them in there snug. And the reason I like to snug them in here is that this here goes into the side of the bookcase. And I've had these before, not necessarily this brand, but this type of construction thing, not really go all the way into here, and they end up kind of popping holes through the side of the bookcase. And that's not what we want, because people could see that, you know. So, hammer these in like so, very slightly. Maybe you can push them in, but they do have a little bit of tightness to them, which is good. And then we got that one there. Next, we'll do the top. Now you notice the top, besides having the black-brown finish on both sides here, this also has the groove in it right there. Now, you have a hole here and a hole over here. Above them is a hole. The peg doesn't go in here, it goes in the outer ones. So, I'll peg this one here. And peg the other side here. Flip it around. And same on this one here. The 2 outer holes gets the dowel. And one over here. Right, set that aside, remembering that that is the top. Now, the bottom piece looks like this. Has the color on one side, the other side's not. There's also no groove on these ones here, but you have the holes here and here like before, and the further out hole there gets the peg again. And this also takes 4. Basically, each piece so far has 4 pegs in it. And like I said, a little hammer time helps it out nicely. A little deep on that one. If it does kind of give and keep going in, you definitely don't want to go. You want about what about a ½ inch sticking out maybe? I think that's going on with this, but these fit pretty snug together. It's like precisioned particle wood manufactured. Okay, now I'll move on to a side. And this side here is the left side. And you know that because when you're facing it, this edge here is finished. The back edge is not finished. And there's a groove back here. It's back here, so left side. And at this point what this gets is at the top of it, there's a big hole and a littler hole, and a little hole, big hole, and this round spacer hole. So in the little holes, you got this little thing here. And now, what these do is they get screwed in here, and you should kind of, as you're screwing in, use a hand screwdriver. You don't want to strip this thing out, and you want to try to make sure you're driving straight with some pressure to get started, because you want to not mess up your surface. You kind of want to push in and turn as you go, and you snug it down. If you get a close-up look here at the thread part, you snag it down to this metal part, not to this gray part. I don't know if that comes in clear or not. And what this will do is when you go to assemble this, there's actually the other holes that we showed in the bottom and top shelf. And you'll stick in one of these little plastic deals here. Okay. And it has like a space here and a notch here. So it's basically, it comes in like this, and then as you turn it, it gets the top of that screw head in like a headlock per se. Like that. And that holds it together. Has the right pressure on it, everything. Now then, flip it around, because on the bottom of this, and you know this is the bottom because it has a notch cut out here. Same thing. Takes two more of those screws, and that notch back here, that is for if you have floor molding and you push this thing, you have it up against the wall. It's going to accommodate for certain heights of floor molding, like I mentioned in the other one. But guess what? Unlike the other one, I got a tape measure. So, there, depending on your curve and all, looks like you can easily do a 3.5 maybe molding, depending on how it curves or sticks out. Should do 3 inches easily, but case in point to remember is if you have this on carpet floor, sometimes it'll sink into the carpet. In which case, what I usually do is I get some wood. This is a piece of flimsy cardboard here, but imagine it being a thin piece of strong wood or something. And I usually kind of put it right here underneath the bottom, so it just kind of keeps it from really sinking in too much into the carpet, and that hopefully will keep it above your your moldings, depending on what size of molding you got. So let's see, I'll put this one here in, and we got one more side to do. Yeah, see this right here, I'll just kind of lay it out here, like so, and get the other one. And 4 more screws on this, and that's kind of like the pre-setup of this. So in total, we got 12 dowels and 8 of these screw things. Not terribly hard, right? And next we will do the bottom and top shelves. But I'm going to get these done and lay them out. Okay, so you can see there the bottom of the right-hand side. You can see right there the screws sticking up. So next to them, of course, is a hole on this side and a hole on that side. And that is for the wooden dowels to go into. And so, making sure if you have the groove in the back, which is to the left here, then the front is the finished side, you want to have this part here, the wood part facing down, and the finished side facing forward. And basically line up those screw holes, or the screws with the holes in the bottom of this one here. And kind of slide on down there. And you might have to stand up and carefully kind of rock and press it in there. Right, so it's nice and seated. Do it carefully, don't make it wobble too much, try not to snap everything off. And then in the bottom there, which looks awfully dark now, we'll put in our gray headlock things. Right, just kind of put them in, and you do it a 180. Sink it in there, on the way, and a 180. And I kind of give a little shake on it just to Strengthen it up, yeah. And then same with the other side here. In there, 180. Then take the toe board here and put that in so the black color is facing out front. It's only going one way, so if it doesn't fit in that way, then flip it over and give that a little shake to seat it down. And then we're on to the top part, which is pretty much like the bottom. In this case, we got those two screws poking up there. And this one here, of course, has the groove in it because it's on the top. So right here, I think you can see like the shadow of the groove basically right in there. So same thing, screws in the screw holes and the pegs in the peg holes of the opposite one. And make sure that that groove is on the back part. Find it and then seat it down there ever so gently. A little rocking action there. And then there, I got a little spotlight out now. And get my little plastic headlock devices here for it. And put them in there and give it a 180 turn. Tighten it up. And again on the other side here. Tighten it up nice and snug. Right, then time for the right side to go on. And too close, folks. You can back up here. Right, so this side here, you got the holes for the headlocks. You got the holes here for the screws to go on. And all we need to do now is get the side of it. And I usually start with the other end, just to line them up and, start it off. Screw in there. Alright, and then bring it down like so, to where nobody can see anything. Do a little adjustment here. Alright. So you can see right there we got the pegs line up with the holes, more or less. Okay, we got those in there, and then make sure these here are in right. And here, as long as you got them lined up good, it's okay to give them a little tap sometimes. Alright, maybe use a mallet, hammer hand, whatever. Okay, and then we'll attach these, the gray things just like before, to both here, 180 turn, and this part over here, and then we'll go do the top shelf to make sure that's on there. Alright, and then I'll do the other side and I'll lay it down. And this little big finger right in there, that little corner part where it curves up, is actually a little slot where the backing will go on. Okay, so take the backing, and it's glued together, but just want to unfold it. And you slide it in, right? Let's see if I can get it here. And so the backing, see here's black, but when you unfold it, right, there's also a brown side to it. Black and brown. You want to make sure the black side, in this case, is facing down or facing towards the interior of the bookcase. And then you want to line up those grooves. Like so. And slide it on down. Now, here comes the dangerous part for this one. Unlike the previous one, where, you know, it slid down pretty good, because it's one piece, this here is three pieces put together. And you can see down there, see it kind of bows in. Now, I knew a guy that went down there with his hands and stuck them in there, and tried to kind of like slide them up to lift that edge up. And guess what? They kind of sliced their fingers. Would you believe that? Well, one finger. And then he has to have a band-aid on. And shouldn't be life-threatening though, because he washed out the cut with soap. But yeah, it doesn't make you happy cutting your finger on stuff. So this cardboard stuff is kind of sharp backing, and they show this the way in the book did it this way. What I suggest you do is after you get it started like this, or maybe even before you start like this, is stand the whole thing upright on its top. Like that, you see. And even though it's going to be hard to see it from here, on the other side, it should be a lot easier. So you can see the groove there? And then from me being on the inside of it, I'm just going to kind of push with my foot ever so slightly and get that edge to fall in the groove. There. And you know it's in because the top part, which is now the top part, which is the bottom, right here, this right here is lined up and below the surface. Now you want to make sure it's equal. You want to make sure it's equal, you know, gap here, or, you know, flushness, as it is on this side. And now make sure your product is square. Now, after that, you what do we got here? We got it's hammer time again. It's time for the nails. Okay, so this is kind of weird though. With this model being bigger, they only provide 4 nails. Right? So, what I suggest you do is there's a tape seamed on the back, so it's hard to see what's right here and right over here. I say probably about an inch, 2 inches in from each side of that seam, put a nail, and then of course at the edge there, put a nail in. So, safety glasses on, right? And you know, you go about 1/4 inch down from the top or so here, and just get some tapping, making sure you get it as straight as possible so it doesn't come out the top or bottom. Okay, try another one. Let's see, find that spot again right here. You might have to be on the other side like I am to give it some strength, some oomph. Right, in it goes. Whoa. Ah. Okay. Only dropped 2. Great. 50%. So I got those two in there. And we'll do one there from the edge. And if you have more of these little nils, go ahead. You know, if you have them left over for some other project, say add to it. Alright. Now then, I will get the other nail retrieved and hammered in and then trim it right side up. In theory, that is complete for the most of it, but then you have here these little notch holes. Notch holes? And on the back here, right, if it's all done right, you should have this little hole up on the top. And what that is if you have, well, you should have these brackets here. This part here will go hopefully to a stud into your wall or some other supportive measure to keep it in the wall. And this part here actually slides in the notch hole. See, it slides in there. And when it goes in there, what you'll do on the other side, which would be pretty hard to show because it's dark here, is you'd have this here, you'd have a washer underneath that comes with it also, and you have a little tiny screw, you know, that goes up through the bottom of this thing, and a little adjustable, but there you go. So this here goes up in the top of the bookcase. This here goes on the wall part and just stud hopefully, and that takes a little bit more measuring, finagling, and moving around, but that's going to help keep this from falling over, you know, like it kind of shows right there. Yeah, see, there it is against the wall, and there it is, some person pulling it over. Uncool. Now, what's left of this is the regular shelves. Regular shelves time, and this right here is dark, because that's what you get when you do black on brown. But don't worry, got a little illumination here. So you have these special things here like this. Like this, you see. And there's a little punky spot that comes out from the end here, like the longest part basically. It's right there. I know that's hard to see, but anyways, this longest part will go into whichever hole you want to go into on this bookcase here, on the side of it there. As you count down or up, and just kind of twist it, put it in place, and if you do it all right, and you have them, basically, you know, 10 down, 11 up, whatever, on all 4 holes, the shelf will sit right on there, nice and sweet like. I'm not too sure how I want this adjusted right now, so I'm going to leave it like that for now. Actually, I'll take it out, but once the measurements are done, or you know, figure out how tall I want to put the books in there, we'll figure it out, put the shelves in there, and that'll be it. Whew. Any questions, comments? Leave them down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs up, right? And subscribe. I could always use more subscribers. And I don't know what to say. If you have a suggestion for something you'd like me to see or try to do, let me know in the comments below also. And I have a few more ideas coming up, but you know, this is it for now. And like I said before, you know, I believe in the IKEA products. They're fairly easy to put together for the most part, depending on what you get. I mean, that Helmer guy, he's a little bit tougher. Helmer, you know, and but Billy's not so bad. And I've had other bookcases from other places that, you know, the finish chips off and whatnot. And I haven't had these, well, not this one in particular, but I haven't had other Billy bookcases that I do have. None of them's chipped off or had any problems. So, alright, well, I think I've talked enough on this, so thanks for watching, and I'm out.